Welcome back and Happy New Year. We're starting off this year with episode number 1933. 33 is the number of episodes we've had, and 19 refers to the year. 1933 is significant because it was the end of Prohibition. And Prohibition was when they outlawed the use and the consumption of alcoholic beverages. Of course, everybody was still drinking. Actually, they were probably drinking more, because when you tell somebody you can't have it, that's when they're going to go ahead and try it. So during that time, they had these things called bitters. And these bitters were meant to mask the awful taste of alcohol that was literally produced in basements and attics and stills back in the woods. This stuff came out of the still. They didn't age it. They didn't care about the consistency. So the only way to mask the horrible flavor was with bitters. One of the most notable ones, you probably see this in the supermarket all the time, it's Angostura bitters. You have to be careful with this stuff because this is 90 proof. It's 45% alcohol. They're allowed to sell it to minors because it counts as a food item, not as an alcohol. But if you drink this, not only will it taste horrible, but you will get drunk. You will get drunk at 90 proof. About 100 years ago, there was this company called Abbott's, and they say that the original Manhattan cocktail was made with this bitters. But they got into a lawsuit with Angostura here, and Angostura won most of the lawsuits. These guys faded away, especially after Prohibition, and Angostura today remains the dominant brand. There's others. There's Péchod, which is big in New Orleans. This is big in the Sazerac. It's got an honest flavor. And there's actually one company that's been around since the very beginning, 1864, but they don't use alcohol anymore. I don't know how they do it, but the contents of this is glycerin, natural and artificial flavors. I don't know what that means. But just to back up for a minute, the way you make bitters is you take an overproof spirit like vodka or this 151 proof rum. This is actually probably one a little bit higher, whatever it is. You get a mason jar, and then you get all the flavor profiles you like. Maybe it's allspice, maybe it's cloves, some black peppercorn, some cinnamon. Whatever things you like to complement your style of drinking, you put it in a mason jar, you fill it with Everclear or high-proof alcohol, put the cap on, stick it in a dark space, and just shake it up every few days. And in about a month, you will have your own bitters. And you can put them in your own bottle with a dropper. The dropper is very important because this stuff is very, very strong. A drop of this will change the cocktail entirely because it's concentrated. My favorite are these cherry bark vanilla bitters from Bitter Cube. You put a drop of this in a rum and coke, and it's going to take a simple drink, like a highball, it's going to take it to the next level. It's delicious. They must make hundreds of bitters, and I do mean hundreds. There's this one place in New York called the Meadow, and you go in there and you could taste them. They have these samplers. This is orange. Maybe that's good for tiki drinks. They have one specifically for tiki and Polynesian cocktails. They have grapefruit bitters. They have orange bitters for your old fashions. They have bitters for every single profile, taste profile there is out there. The way that you taste them, if you don't have a store that has them all open where you could walk in there and taste them, is when you buy a bottle, take it, put a drop of it in seltzer or club soda, so you could taste the flavor before you go and ruin a cocktail. Because like I said, the reason why this comes with a dropper is because you could ruin the drink. 2 drops could make the cocktail perfect, and a 3rd drop could ruin it. So you got to be careful with how you use this stuff. These little guys, these are about an ounce. These are going to be the same price as your Angostura, which is 4 ounces. So obviously you're going to get more bang for your buck here. It's going to be the same price, but these smaller craft bitter companies are really fantastic. As you see, I have them. Fees makes an entire collection. They must make, I don't know, maybe a dozen, maybe it's not quite a dozen, whatever, but Aztec bitter chocolates, this is good. I mean, you could even put a drop of this in your coffee, and again, this is an alcoholic. Any of the Fees stuff is going to have glycerol instead of alcohol. Julia Child's favorite drink when she started cooking, if you just don't want to start, like sometimes during around the holidays, you start cooking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she wouldn't start with a glass of wine. She would start with a glass of Perrier and a couple of drops of Angostura. And this way, you're not drinking wine, and so by the time dinner's served, you're already 3 glasses of wine into it and not functioning too well. Have fun. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
There was a cat from Brooklyn by the name of Romeo. His folks, they came from Italy many years ago. One night he met young Geraldine, a dame from out of town. When Geraldine was dancing, she would bring the ballroom down. Wave those paws in the air, spin around like Fred Astaire. Slip me five if we can jive. That's Geraldine's routine. Lift those puppies off the ground.